Have you ever watched your dog sleep and wondered what it all means? The way they curl up into a tiny ball, the way they sprawl out like they own the place, the way they press their back against your leg in the middle of the night. Most of us see these positions and think our dogs are just trying to get comfortable. But it's not that simple. Your dog's sleeping position is one of the most honest forms of communication they have, because when a dog sleeps, they're at their most vulnerable. And where they choose to sleep and how they position their body reveals everything about how safe they feel in your world. Number 1, the tight ball. Let's start with one of the most common positions you'll see. Your dog curls into a tight ball, nose tucked under their tail, paws pulled in close to their chest. It looks cozy, almost like they're trying to stay warm. And that's what most people assume. They think their dog is cold, so they grab a blanket or turn up the heat. But temperature is only part of the story. The curled ball position goes back thousands of years, long before dogs lived in our homes. Wild canines sleep this way to protect their vital organs. Their throat, belly, and face are all tucked away from potential threats. It's a defensive posture. And yes, it does help them retain body heat, which was crucial for survival. But here's what matters for your dog today. When they sleep curled up tight, even in a warm house, they're not fully relaxed. They feel the need to stay protected. This doesn't mean they don't trust you. It might just mean they're in a new environment, or they're still adjusting to a routine change, or maybe they're just a naturally cautious personality. Some dogs curl up simply out of habit. It's what feels normal to them. But if your dog only ever sleeps this way and never stretches out, it's worth paying attention to. It could mean they don't feel completely safe yet. And that's okay. Trust takes time. You can help them feel more secure by giving them a dedicated sleep space that's quiet, enclosed, and consistent. A crate with soft bedding works beautifully for this. It's not about confinement. It's about creating a den which dogs instinctively seek out. Over time, as your dog realizes nothing bad happens when they sleep, you might notice them start to stretch out a little more. And that shift is a beautiful thing to witness. It means they're beginning to let their guard down. Number 2, the side sleeper. Now let's talk about the dog who sleeps on their side, legs stretched out, belly partially exposed. This is a significant step up from the curled ball. When a dog lies on their side, they're telling you something important. They feel safe. Not perfectly safe, not utterly relaxed, but safe enough to expose their vulnerable side. In the wild, an animal lying on its side is an easier target. They can't jump up and run as quickly. Their belly isn't fully protected. So when your dog chooses this position, they're making a calculated decision. They've decided that the comfort of stretching out is worth the risk. This is actually the most common sleeping position for dogs who live in stable, loving homes. It's the middle ground between protection and relaxation. You'll often see dogs shift into this position once they've been in a home for a few weeks or months. It's one of the first signs that they're starting to settle in. But here's something fascinating. Research on dog sleep cycles shows that dogs in the side position spend more time in REM sleep than dogs curled in a ball. REM sleep is when dreaming happens. It's also when the body does its deepest restoration and memory processing. So when your dog sleeps on their side, they're not just comfortable. They're actually sleeping better. Their brain is getting the rest it needs. You might notice their legs twitching, their eyes moving under their eyelids, maybe even soft little barks or whimpers. Don't worry, they're just dreaming. And the fact that they feel safe enough to enter that deep sleep state around you says a lot. It says they trust that you'll keep watch while they're vulnerable. That's no small thing. Number 3, the belly-up Superman. Here's where things get really interesting. The dog who sleeps on their back, belly fully exposed, legs up in the air like a cartoon character. Some people call this the Superman position. Others call it the dead cockroach. Whatever you call it, this position is the ultimate display of trust. When a dog exposes their belly, they're exposing the most vulnerable part of their body. Their throat, chest, and stomach are all completely unprotected. In any threatening situation, this would be the worst possible position to be in. But your dog isn't in a threatening situation. They know that. They feel so safe, so completely relaxed, that they don't need to protect themselves at all. This is also the position that allows for the most effective cooling. Dogs regulate their temperature partly through their paw pads and belly, where the fur is thinner. So a dog sleeping belly up is often a dog who's warm and wants to cool down. But it's not just about temperature. Studies show that dogs who regularly sleep on their backs tend to be more confident and secure in their environment. They're not worried about threats. They're not on alert. They've completely let go of their survival instincts and surrendered to comfort. If your dog sleeps like this, congratulations. You've created an environment where they feel absolutely safe. But not all dogs will sleep this way, and that's okay too. Some dogs are just naturally more cautious, even in the safest homes. Some breeds are less likely to sleep on their backs due to body structure. And some dogs simply prefer other positions. The absence of the belly-up position doesn't mean your dog doesn't trust you, but its presence is a very clear sign that they do. Number 4. The sprawl. Let's talk about the dog who sprawls out completely, legs in every direction, taking up as much space as physically possible. Maybe they're on their side, maybe on their belly, but the key feature is the sprawl. They look like they've melted into the floor. This position combines comfort with cooling, but it also reveals something about your dog's personality and their confidence in your home. A sprawling dog is a dog who feels like they belong. They're not trying to make themselves small. They're not worried about staying out of the way. They've claimed this space as theirs, and they're comfortable in that claim. You'll often see this position in dogs who have been in their home for a long time, or in dogs with naturally confident, easygoing temperaments. It's most common in warm weather because the sprawl allows maximum body contact with cool surfaces like tile or hardwood floors. But even in cooler months, some dogs sprawl simply because it feels good. The position allows their muscles to fully relax. There's no tension anywhere in their body, and that complete relaxation is only possible when a dog feels totally secure. Here's something worth noting. Dogs who sprawl in the middle of high-traffic areas, like hallways or kitchens, are showing an extra level of trust. They're confident enough to sleep in a vulnerable position in a place where people are moving around. They trust that no one will step on them, startle them, or pose any threat. That kind of confidence doesn't happen overnight. It's built through consistent positive experiences, through a routine where nothing bad happens when they sleep, through a relationship where they've learned that you're predictable, safe, and trustworthy. Number 5. The lean and press. Now we get to one of the most touching positions. Your dog sleeps pressed up against you. Maybe it's their back against your leg. Maybe they're curled up touching your side. Maybe they've somehow managed to drape themselves across your lap, even though they're a 60-pound dog and your lap is not designed for this. This contact sleeping is about more than warmth, although that's certainly part of it. It's about connection. Dogs are pack animals. In the wild, canines sleep in piles, pressed together for warmth, security, and social bonding. When your dog chooses to sleep touching you, they're treating you like pack. They're saying you belong to their most trusted inner circle. There's also a practical element to this. Physical contact allows your dog to monitor you even while they're sleeping. They can feel your breathing, your movements, your heartbeat. If you get up, they'll know immediately. This isn't because they're anxious. It's because they're connected to you. You're part of their awareness, part of their sense of what's normal and safe. Some dogs take this further and insist on sleeping on top of their owner. This might seem domineering, but it's usually not about dominance at all. It's about maximizing contact. It's about being as close as physically possible to the person they feel safest with. For dogs who have experienced trauma or instability in the past, this contact can be especially important. It's their way of making sure you don't disappear, that you're still there, still solid, still theirs. If your dog sleeps pressed against you, they're not just trusting you to keep them safe. They're including you in their sense of safety. You're not just a protector, you're home. Number 6. The burrow. Some dogs don't just want to be near you when they sleep. They want to be under something. Under blankets, under pillows, burrowed into a pile of laundry, or nestled deep inside a dog bed with sides. This burrowing instinct is strong in certain breeds, particularly terriers and dachshunds, who are bred to dig and hunt in tunnels. But lots of dogs burrow regardless of breed. So what does it mean? The instinct to burrow goes back to denning behavior. Wild canines create or find small, enclosed spaces to sleep in. These dens provide protection from predators, shelter from weather, and a sense of security that comes from having boundaries on all sides. When your dog burrows under your blankets or digs into their bed before sleeping, they're recreating that den feeling. They're making themselves a safe little cave. Now here's the interesting part. Dogs who burrow aren't necessarily more anxious or less trusting than dogs who don't. In fact, many confident, well-adjusted dogs are enthusiastic burrowers. It's often just a preference, like some people sleep better with heavy blankets while others prefer light sheets. But the key is whether your dog chooses to burrow or feels like they have to. A dog who burrows contentedly, then pops their head out to check on you, then burrows back in, is a happy burrower. A dog who burrows and stays hidden, who seems reluctant to come out, who acts startled when you approach, might be using burrowing as a coping mechanism for anxiety. Context matters. If your dog has always burrowed and seems content doing it, that's just their preferred way to sleep. But if the burrowing is new, or if it's accompanied by other signs of stress, it might be worth exploring what's changed in their environment. Either way, there's no need to discourage burrowing. If it makes your dog feel safe, let them have it. You can provide burrowing opportunities with blankets and enclosed beds. You're not reinforcing fear, you're respecting their need for a secure sleep space. Number 7, the back-to-back. Here's a position that often surprises people. Your dog doesn't curl up facing you when they sleep. Instead, they turn their back to you. Some owners worry about this. They think it means their dog is mad at them or doesn't want affection or is being aloof. But it's actually the opposite. When a dog sleeps with their back to you, they're showing tremendous trust. Think about it from their perspective. If they're facing away from you, they can't see what you're doing. They can't monitor you. They're completely vulnerable to you, but they're also positioned to watch the rest of the room, to monitor the door, the windows, the potential entry points. In a pack situation, this is a strategic position. Some pack members face outward to watch for threats, while others face inward toward the center. By sleeping back to back, each member protects the other's blind spot. When your dog sleeps with their back pressed against you, they're not ignoring you. They're trusting you to cover their back while they cover yours. They've assigned you a role in their security system. You watch behind them, they watch the front. It's partnership. It's teamwork. It's actually a beautiful demonstration of mutual trust. You'll often see this position in dogs who are naturally watchful or protective. They feel responsible for monitoring the home, and they trust you to be their partner in that job. If your dog sleeps back to back with you, don't take it personally. Take it as the compliment it is. Number 8, the bedtime migration. Let's talk about the dog who doesn't stay in one position or one place all night. Maybe they start in their own bed, then migrate to the couch, then end up in your bedroom by morning. Or maybe they start on your bed, then move to the floor halfway through the night. This movement is completely normal. Dogs, like people, shift positions naturally during sleep. They might get too warm, too cold, uncomfortable, or just ready for a change. But the pattern of their movement can tell you something. A dog who starts the night in your bed, then moves to their own bed or the floor, is often just thermoregulating. Your body heat plus their body heat plus blankets can add up to too warm. They're not rejecting you, they're just cooling down. A dog who starts the night in their own space, then migrates closer to you as the night goes on, is often seeking connection after they've had some rest. Or they might be responding to household sounds, like you moving in your sleep, and they want to check on you. The interesting pattern is the dog who can't settle at all, who moves constantly, never seeming comfortable anywhere. This might indicate pain, anxiety, or an environmental issue like temperature or noise. Older dogs especially might move frequently if they're experiencing arthritis or other discomfort. But for most dogs, some movement is just normal sleep behavior. The question isn't whether they move, but whether they settle into deep sleep once they've found their spot, and whether that spot is near you, because even a dog who prefers to sleep in a different room is still factoring you into their sleep choices. They know where you are. They've decided that distance is okay because the house feels safe. That decision is a form of trust too. Number 9, the guard dog position. Some dogs choose to sleep in doorways, at the top of stairs, or in positions where they can see multiple rooms at once. They're not in the room with you, but they're positioned strategically. This is the guard dog position, and it reveals a specific type of trust and personality. A dog who sleeps in a threshold position often has a strong protective instinct. They've appointed themselves guardian of the household, and they take this job seriously even during sleep. But here's what people often misunderstand. This isn't about the dog not trusting you. It's about the dog trusting you enough to take on a role. They feel secure in your relationship, so they're able to focus on external protection rather than needing to stay close for their own security. This position is most common in breeds that were developed for guarding, herding, or protection work. But any dog with a watchful personality might choose it. The dog is essentially saying, "I've got this. You sleep, I'll monitor." It's a division of labor based on trust. Now, it's worth noting that some dogs in this position might be hypervigilant or anxious, especially if they can't seem to relax even in the guard position. A dog who's constantly alert, who wakes at every sound, who seems stressed by their self-imposed guard duty, might need help learning that they don't have to protect the house. They're allowed to rest. But most dogs who choose the threshold position do so because it matches their personality and makes them feel purposeful. They sleep soundly in that spot because they've chosen it. They've claimed it as their contribution to the household. If your dog sleeps this way, you can honor their choice while also making sure they have comfortable bedding in their chosen spot. A dog bed in the hallway isn't a waste. It's respecting your dog's need to fulfill their role while staying comfortable. Number 10, the position changes over time. Here's something fascinating that many dog owners notice but don't always understand. Their dog's sleeping position changes over the months and years. A dog who used to curl in a tight ball starts sprawling. A dog who insisted on sleeping pressed against you starts sleeping independently, or sometimes it goes the other way. An independent sleeper starts seeking more contact. These changes aren't random. They're responses to shifts in how secure your dog feels. A young dog or a newly adopted dog often starts out sleeping in protective positions, curled tight, alert, not fully relaxed. As they settle into your home and routine, they begin to stretch out more. Their sleeping positions gradually shift toward more vulnerable, more relaxed postures. This progression is a beautiful map of growing trust. Each time your dog chooses a slightly more exposed position, they're telling you they feel safer. The changes can also reflect life circumstances. A dog recovering from illness or injury might temporarily return to more protective sleeping positions, even if they usually sprawl. A dog dealing with anxiety from a house move or a new family member might curl up tighter for a while. An aging dog might change positions due to arthritis, cognitive changes, or shifting comfort needs. And has something particularly touching. Many dogs change their sleeping position based on who they're with. They might sprawl contentedly when sleeping near their primary person, but curl up tighter when that person is away and they're alone or with someone else. This isn't about the other person being unsafe. It's about the primary bond being where they feel most deeply secure. The point is, your dog's sleeping position isn't fixed. It's a living communication that shifts with their experience, their health, their age, and their relationship with you. Pay attention to patterns over time. A gradual shift toward more relaxed positions is a sign that your dog is settling in beautifully. A sudden shift toward more protective positions might be worth investigating. Number 11. Where they sleep matters too. We've talked about how your dog sleeps, but where they choose to sleep is equally revealing. A dog who insists on sleeping in your bed, touching you, is making the strongest statement about closeness and trust. They want to be literally as close as possible. They're treating you as family in the deepest sense. A dog who sleeps in your bedroom but in their own bed is saying they want to be near you, but they also value having their own space. This is actually a very balanced, healthy preference. They're bonded but not anxious, connected but independent. A dog who sleeps in a different room but nearby, maybe just outside your bedroom door or in a hallway, is comfortable with some distance but still wants to be connected to you. They might be guarding, or they might just prefer a cooler or quieter spot while staying within your orbit. And here's something that surprises people. A dog who chooses to sleep in a completely different part of the house, maybe downstairs while you're upstairs, isn't necessarily less bonded to you. Some dogs simply sleep better with space. They might be sensitive to movement or sound during the night. They might run hot and prefer cooler areas away from body heat. They might be independent by nature. The question isn't whether they sleep right next to you, but whether they've made a deliberate choice. A dog who settles contentedly in their chosen spot, sleeps soundly, and greets you happily in the morning is a dog who feels secure in your relationship. They don't need constant physical contact to feel connected. That's a sign of confident attachment. However, a dog who seems anxious about where to sleep, who can't settle anywhere, who follows you constantly but seems distressed, might be struggling with separation anxiety or insecurity. That's different from independent sleeping. Context and emotional state matter. Number 12. The invitation to share sleep. Now let's talk about something many dog owners experience but rarely think deeply about. Your dog doesn't just choose where to sleep. They invite you into their sleep space or accept your invitation into yours. When your dog brings a toy to their bed, then looks at you expectantly, they might be inviting you to join them. When they sleep on your bed, even when you're not there, they're surrounding themselves with your scent, staying connected to you. When they refuse to settle until you come to bed, they're telling you that bedtime is a shared ritual. This mutual coordination of sleep is remarkable when you think about it. Your dog is adjusting their sleep schedule to match yours. They're incorporating your presence into their definition of safety and rest. In the wild, pack sleep is synchronized. Everyone settles at the same time. Everyone watches the same patterns of rest and activity. Your dog is treating you as pack, and bedtime is when that pack bond is most apparent. Some dogs take this further and actually seem to wait for permission to sleep. They won't settle in their bed until you've settled in yours. They're checking that everyone is accounted for, that the pack is safe, before they allow themselves to fully relax. This isn't anxious behavior unless it's excessive. It's pack coordination. It's actually quite beautiful. And here's something touching. Many dogs adjust their sleep depth based on whether you're awake or asleep. When you're up and moving around, they might doze lightly, ready to wake if you need them. Once you're clearly settled for the night, they drop into deeper sleep. They're taking cues from you about when it's safe to fully let go. Number 13. What it means when they won't sleep. Sometimes the most revealing thing about your dog's sleep isn't the position they choose, but their inability to settle at all. A dog who paces, who can't find a comfortable position, who seems restless and anxious at bedtime, is communicating something important. Sleep problems in dogs can indicate physical discomfort. Pain, digestive issues, or the need to go outside can all prevent settling, but they can also indicate emotional discomfort. Anxiety, fear, or insecurity can make it impossible for a dog to relax enough to sleep. If your dog struggles to sleep, the first step is always ruling out physical causes with your vet. But if health isn't the issue, look at environmental factors. Is the sleeping area too noisy, too bright, too busy? Is there a new stressor in the home? Has the routine changed in ways that might feel unsettling? Sometimes the solution is simple. A more enclosed bed, a white noise machine, blackout curtains, or a consistent bedtime routine can make all the difference. Dogs thrive on predictability. When they know what to expect, they can relax. But sometimes sleeplessness indicates deeper anxiety that might need professional help. A certified dog behaviorist or veterinary behaviorist can assess whether your dog is experiencing anxiety that's interfering with their ability to feel safe enough to sleep. The key is recognizing that sleep is a fundamental need, and if your dog can't meet that need, something is wrong. They're not being difficult. They're not stubborn. They're genuinely unable to relax. And that's a problem worth solving, because quality sleep affects everything else in your dog's life, from their mood to their health to their behavior. Number 14. Senior dogs and changing sleep patterns. As dogs age, their sleep patterns often change significantly. Senior dogs typically sleep more than younger dogs, but their sleep might be lighter and more easily disrupted. They might wake more frequently during the night. They might change positions more often due to arthritis or stiffness. Understanding these changes helps you interpret what your senior dog is communicating through their sleep. An older dog who suddenly wants to sleep pressed against you after years of independent sleeping might be seeking comfort as their body becomes less reliable. They might be experiencing pain, confusion, or anxiety that comes with cognitive decline. Or they might simply find your presence more comforting as they navigate the challenges of aging. A senior dog who starts sleeping in different locations than before might be responding to temperature sensitivity, difficulty with stairs, or seeking softer surfaces for achy joints. These changes aren't rejection, they're adaptation. Your senior dog still trusts you, they're just managing new physical realities. You can support your aging dog by providing multiple comfortable sleep options throughout your home. Orthopedic beds, heated pads in cool weather, easy access to their favorite spots, and patience with nighttime waking all communicate to your senior dog that they're still safe, still valued, still home. Some senior dogs also experience sundowner syndrome, similar to what some humans with dementia experience. They become confused or anxious in the evening and nighttime. This can make sleep difficult. If you notice this pattern, talk to your vet. There are management strategies and sometimes medications that can help. The key is remembering that your senior dog's changing sleep needs aren't inconvenient. They're opportunities to show the same care and patience they've shown you all these years. Number 15. Building sleep trust with a new dog. If you've recently adopted a dog or brought home a puppy, their sleep behavior in the first weeks and months will tell you a lot about how they're adjusting. Most new dogs start out sleeping in protective positions, curled tight, alert even during rest. They might have trouble settling, they might wake frequently, they might seek constant contact, or conversely, they might isolate themselves. All of this is normal. You're essentially a stranger at first, and your home is unknown territory. Sleep requires vulnerability, and vulnerability requires trust. Trust takes time. You can help build sleep trust by creating absolute consistency around bedtime. Same time each night, same routine leading up to sleep, same sleeping location. Dogs feel safer when they can predict what's coming. You can also help by making their sleep space genuinely comfortable and secure. For many dogs, a crate with soft bedding and a cover creates the den-like enclosure that helps them relax. Others, a dog bed in a quiet corner of your bedroom provides the right balance of closeness and independence. Watch your dog, let them tell you what they need. Over the first few weeks, you should see gradual changes. Settling happens a little faster each night. Sleep positions start to relax. The tight ball might loosen into a side sleep. The constant vigilance might soften into actual rest. These changes are victories. Each one represents growing trust. And here's the beautiful part. The sleep trust you build in those early days and weeks becomes the foundation for everything else. A dog who learns that sleep is safe in your home, that nothing bad happens when they're vulnerable, becomes a dog who trusts you in all the other areas of life too. Sleep is the bedrock. When your dog can truly rest in your presence, you've given them something profound. So what is your dog really saying through their sleeping position? They're telling you how safe they feel, how much they trust you, how they see their role in your household, how they're managing their environment. Every curl, every stretch, every choice of location is communication. And the wonderful thing is, this communication goes both ways. When you respect your dog's sleep needs, when you provide safe, comfortable spaces, when you maintain consistent routines, you're communicating back to them. You're saying, I see you, I understand, you're safe here. That mutual understanding, built in the quiet, vulnerable hours of sleep, is what transforms a house into a home and a pet into family. Your dog is always talking to you. Sometimes the most important conversations happen when they're silent, curled up, finally at rest. But what happens when those sleep patterns suddenly change in ways that worry you? When your dog, who always slept soundly, starts pacing at night, or when the independent sleeper becomes clingy? We'll explore the warning signs you shouldn't ignore in our next video, because understanding your dog's sleep isn't just about appreciating the bond you share. Sometimes it's about catching problems early before they become serious. Sweet dreams.